Hi there, welcome again to my channel. Today, our topic is about sequence signals or connectors. This is based from the lessons in the module of English 9, Quarter 1, good for Week 2. Alright, this topic is based from the self-learning module of English 9 lessons. But before we proceed, kung bago ka pa lang sa channel na to, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and click also the notification bell in order to be updated, and of course please share also. Now let us proceed with our lesson. Connectors are words that are used to link between two or more ideas. When we say link, the function is just to connect two or more ideas. Nagdudugtong lang ng dalawa o higit pang mga ideas. Now, sentence connectors are words or phrases that introduce a clause. Ito yung mga words or phrases na ginagamit kapag ikaw ay gagamit ng isang clause or sentence para ipangdugtong sa isa pang sentence. Alright. Sentence connectors are also called transition words. Ang ibang tawag dito sa mga sentence connectors na ito ay transition words. Now, transition words and phrases help make clear connections between ideas. Pinapalinaw nitong mga transition words and phrases yung mga idea, and see that sentences and paragraphs flow together. Tinutulungan na para maunawaan ang pagdaloy ng idea mula sa isang sentence papunta sa kasunod na sentence o kaya mula sa isang paragraph papunta sa susunod na paragraph. Now, sentence connectors or transition words can be divided into different categories. Number one is sequence signal words. These sequence signal words are words that are used to arrange the sequence or the flow of ideas in an orderly manner. Yung pagkakasunod-sunod na mga ideas ay inaayos nitong mga sequence signal words. Next is sentence connectors that provide information. Yung mga words na ginagamit kapag ikaw ay magdudugtong ng panibagong informasyon. And then sentence connectors that provide example. Say for example, yung mga, for instance, particularly, yung mga ganon. That is called connectors that provide examples. And then, words that provide cause or reason. Yung mga words na nagbibigay ng mga cause, dahilan, or reason. And then, words that provide result or effect. Also, words that provide purpose or reason. Words that provide comparison or contrast, words that provide summary, and words that provide conclusion. Lahat ng ito ay i-discuss natin isa-isa. And we are going to provide examples also. Okay. Here are the examples of sequence signal words. This is based from the module of English 9. Now, hindi na natin babasahin ito ng rigid kasi we are going to use plenty of time. So, we're just going to focus on the sequence signal words like this one. Last year, nagko-connect siya sa susunod na sentence and then while. And then after a while is to start off. By the way, itong pagkakasunod-sunod ng sentence ng mga sequence signals na ito ay para lalong maganda yung daloy ng mga idea so that the flow of ideas are easily understood. And then after, to start off, next. And then after next, as soon as. By the way, I'm advising you to follow this video with the module on your hands. Dapat ay hawak ninyo ang inyong module para lalo ninyong maintindihan. And then, during, after, during, after, and then after is finally. Now, this is the perfect arrangement of ideas through the use of these sequence signals. Pag hindi tayo gumamit ng sequence signals dito, pwedeng magkahalo-halo yung mga idea. But through the use of these sequence signals, madali mong masundan. You can easily follow the flow of ideas from the beginning up to the last. Okay, now, here are some sequence signal words. First, second, third, fourth, etc. And then after, before, currently, during, eventually, finally, formerly, immediately, initially, lastly, later, meanwhile, next, previously, simultaneously, soon, subsequently. Alright, by the way, these sequence signals can be used in arranging your ideas. Dito ka pwedeng kumuha ng mga words na pwede mong gamitin para mas maganda ang dating ng iyong output. Whenever you have the chance, you should be able to choose from these examples in order for you to have a very good output. Okay. Now, here are the transition words that provide more information. Besides, furthermore, and in addition, indeed, in fact, moreover, now, here is the example. I hate to go to the mall to go shopping these days because of coronavirus. In fact, I'd rather shop online rather than go to the mall just to be safe. All right, our transition word here is in fact. Without using this in fact, if you just connect the second sentence to the first sentence, it lacks emphasis. Kulang siya ng emphasis. So, the use of the transition word in fact here is very important because it adds additional emphasis to the idea. Okay. Another example, parents are affected by the implementation of modular distance learning. Moreover, working single mother parents are complaining that they have no time to assist their kids in studying the modules because they are working away from home. Now, the first sentence is ito, parents are affected, yan. Followed by this one. Our transition word is moreover. Now, notice, if we are going to remove this transition word moreover, start only with working single mother, then the sentence lacks emphasis, kulang nandiin. So, the role here of this transition word is to add additional emphasis so that the flow of idea is easily understood from the first sentence to the second sentence. All right, remember that. Next is transition words that provide an example. All right, here are the example. For example, for instance, in particular, specifically, to demonstrate, to illustrate, and this is the example. There is no reason for her to ignore somebody, specifically like him. All right, our transition word here is specifically. Now, if we are going to remove this specifically, it's going to be like this. There is no reason for her to ignore somebody like him. Now, notice, pag walang specifically, it lacks emphasis. So, The role here of this transition word is to add additional emphasis to the idea given in the sentence. Okay, another example. There are many ways we can help in containing the spread of coronavirus. For instance, we should avoid going out of our house if there is no important reason. Okay. Now, our transition word here is for instance. Now, notice again, the role of this transition word here is to make the flow of idea easier to understand and also to add emphasis. Nagdadagdag siya ng diin, ng emphasis sa idea sa sentence. And it is easily understood. Without, for example, ito lang, we should avoid going out of our house if there is no important reason. Kulang siya sa emphasis. So, as I've said, the role of this transition word is very, very important. Next, transition words that provide cause or reason. As, we have because of, due to, for the reason that. By the way, sa inyong module, ito rin ang mababasa ninyo. Although, may iba sa module na wala dito, na idinagdag ko naman dito. And also, marami akong idinagdag dito na wala sa module. I did it in order to make it clearer for the students to understand the lesson. Kasi kulang yung explanation sa module. Alright, we have since, and this is our example. Many employees became unemployed because of the spread of coronavirus. Now, our transition word here is because of. In this sentence, pwede itong baliktarin. Pwede ka mag-umpisa dito sa because. Because of the spread of coronavirus, many employees became unemployed. That is another option. Next, another example. Because of the threat of coronavirus, the Department of Education decided to implement the distance learning nationwide. Alright, now take a look at this. If we remove this part, because of the threat of coronavirus, ito lang, the Department of Education decided to implement the distance learning nationwide, it lacks the cause or reason. Kulang siya ng dahilan. So if you are going to add the cause or reason, then the idea is complete. And you can do that by using the phrase because of. Okay, next. Transition words that provide result or effect. We have accordingly, finally, consequently, hence, so, therefore, thus. And here is our example. Consequently, he believes he is a man of principle, so he acted wisely. Okay, our transition word here is consequently. By the way, let me make this clear. Yung transition word at connectors at sequence connectors are just the same. Pareho lang yan. Transition words at connectors, sentence connectors, they are just the same. Alright, here, consequently is used to add emphasis in this sentence. Kasi if you are going to start the sentence with he believes he is a man of principle, so he acted wisely. Kulang siya sa substance or kulang siya sa emphasis. But if you add consequently, then there is a strong emphasis in the sentence. Okay. Next, another example. Finally, after experiencing too many hardships and obstacles, we were able to graduate. All right. Our transition word here is finally. Now notice again, if we remove this transition word finally, kulang na naman yung kanyang emphasis. So, parang kulang siya ng substance. So, here, finally, adds to the beauty of your write-up. By the way, people will notice you as proficient in English if you're able to use different kinds of transition words in your written output or even when you are speaking in the public. Kapag marami kang ginagamit na transition words, then people will take note of that, and they might even think that you are really proficient in English because of your use of different transition words. Okay. Now, transition words that provide purpose or reason. For fear that, in the hope that, in order to, so that, with this in mind, and here is our example. People nowadays are used in wearing face masks in order to avoid coronavirus contamination. Now, our transition word here is in order to. Now, the use of in order to is very important because, as I have said, it adds also emphasis. And there is another option in this kind of sentence. You can divide this into two parts. You can begin with in order to. In order to avoid coronavirus contamination, people nowadays are used in wearing face masks. But now, so here, in order to is also important. Because without this, the sentence would lack substance. Kulang siya ng substance. Okay, another example. People should be protected from the onslaught of coronavirus. With this in mind, the President ordered lockdown on all affected areas. Our transition word here is with this in mind. And take note. If we remove this part with this in mind, it looks like it lacks emphasis. And it looks like the sentence was written by a person who is not really proficient in English. But if you're able to include this phrase with this in mind, then you can be noted as proficient in English because of the use of this transition word. Okay, next. Transition words that provide comparison or contrast. We have although, however, in comparison, in contrast, likewise, nevertheless, on the other hand, similarly, whereas, yet, and here is our example. There are still some people who go out without face masks, although they know that it is a violation of the Department of Health protocol. Now, our transition word here is although. Now, take note again. If we remove although, then we have two sentences here. The first one is, there are still some people who go out without face masks. Then followed with, they know that it is a violation of the Department of Health protocol. There are two sentences. But if we are going to connect these two sentences with this transition word, although, then it sounds nice, and it sounds like the person who is talking or who has written the sentence is proficient in English. So this is very, very important. And also, you may have another option here. You can divide the sentence into two parts. You can start with although they know that it is a violation of the Department of Health protocol, this part is our dependent clause. Pwede mong unahin yan. And then after that, use comma, and then there are still some people who go out without face mask. By the way, in your module, yung sa iba't ibang type of transition words ay walang binibigay na mga example na katulad nito. So, this is the difference with my video and with the lessons in the module. Okay, another example. Parents should take time to assist their sons and daughters in modular distance learning. Likewise, students should be serious in studying their modules. Okay. Now here our transition word is likewise. By the way, this is about comparison or contrast. Now, likewise is for comparison. Okay. Now, take note again, the role here of this word likewise. If we remove this, then there are two sentences. And, again, it lacks emphasis. Kasi after this first part, period, followed with students should be serious in studying their modules. It looked like the work of somebody who lacks additional knowledge in English. But if you're able to use this phrase likewise, then you're going to sound like a person who is really proficient in English. Okay. Next is transition words that provide a conclusion. We have given these facts, hence, in conclusion, so, thus, to conclude, therefore, and our example is all of your answers are correct. Therefore, all of you got high grade. Now, of course, our transition word here is therefore. And again, therefore is used to connect two sentences. The first one is all of your answers are correct. The other one is all of you got high grade. But if you are going to use this transition word therefore, then the two sentences are connect and there is a strong emphasis here through the use of this word therefore. Okay, next. Another example. You have been noticed to be the most serious in work. Therefore, the management gave you an award. Alright, our transition word here is therefore. Now again, the role of this word therefore is to connect these two sentences. Now, notice if we remove therefore, then there are two sentences, but it lacks the link or connection that gives emphasis. Kulang siya ng pandugtong na nagbibigay ng emphasis. But through the use of therefore, then it has a good sense and there is a perfect emphasis in the sentence. Okay. Now, if you have learned something in this video, again, please don't forget to like, subscribe, click the notification bell in order to be updated, and of course, please share also. Thank you very much for watching. See you again.